नमस्कार दोस्तों, मैं अमिताभ और आपका सबका स्वागत है एड टॉक्स विद अमिताभ में एक बार। वेलकम टू एड टॉक्स विद अमिताभ वंस अगेन फ्रेंड्स। और जैसा कि हमने आपसे वायदा किया है, हर एपिसोड में हम आपको रूबरू कराएंगे एक ऐसी शख्सियत से जो एक सोशल इन्फ्लुएंसर है, एजुकेशनल इन्फ्लुएंसर है और जिनका इस समाज में बहुत ज्यादा इम्पैक्ट है। एंड इसी कड़ी में हमने कोशिश करी है, वी हैव मेड एन अटेम्प्ट टू ब्रिंग रिसोर्स पीपल फ्रॉम ऑल अक्रॉस द कंट्री। हमने people who have given their life to a social cause and the cause of education, and in the same link उसी कड़ी में हमारे साथ आज द स्कूल टाइम्स के वर्चुअल स्टूडियो में स्ट्रेट फ्रॉम हैदराबाद मौजूद हैं अंजलि राजदान जी। वी हैव अंजलि राजदान straight from Hyderabad in our virtual studios. So before any further ado, before I invite her, just to give you an idea, Anjali ji's impact of her personality is such that everyone, the moment you meet her, you only have smile on your face. Humor is something that is she has been propagating in every aspect of life. As an educational influencer, I don't think any part of country is untouched by her. She has worked in east, west, north, south, and headed schools almost in every possible zone. Currently, she is CEO of GD Goenka Schools in Hyderabad. She is also Director Education of Solan Public School at Solan in Himachal Pradesh. She was formerly Vice Chairman of Sahodaya Principals Complex at Hyderabad. List is big, friends, and in fact, while going through her profile, I realized that she has formed a habit of you know getting awards every now and then. And while pre going on the air before that, when I was talking to her, I realized that her memory of her starting the awards begins from in the 1991. In more than 3 decades of her education, that she has made a contribution. Just to list few awards that her impact to the contribution of education and society. She's been awarded B.K. Birla Award as early as in 1991. She is been awarded with Bharat Nirman Award. She has also been placed 3 years consecutively Acharya Devo Bhav Award. And friends, she has also been awarded and blessed with Dr. Abdul Kalam Award for Women in Education in 2020 itself. So friends, such an eminent personality. I'm sure there's lots to learn from her in today's episode. So without any further delay, we have Anjali ji coming to us on our screen. Namaskar Anjali ji, welcome to Ed Talks with Amitabh.
Namaskar, Amitabh ji. I'm so happy to see you.
Ma'am,
After
it's a
many years.
pleasure knowing you for more than 3 decades now, and getting this opportunity in these lockdown days in this Staying Positive series. Thank you so much for accepting our invite and being part of our show.
Equally my pleasure to be
Thank
here.
you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, the vision of this show is we are calling it Staying Positive Lockdown Series because we bring people of eminence, of your eminence from all across the country and beyond, and try to give that experiential sharing in these times so that people get inspired, get ideas of both about personal life, about lockdown, as well as from their professional journey and the experience if they can get some inspiration from there as well. So, with your permission, can we start our interaction?
Absolutely. Please go ahead.
Ma'am, I would like to know, you have been such a, it's been more than 3 decades that you have been working in the field of education and making the necessary contributions. Such a busy life, and then this lockdown. This is one question I'm beginning with every guest of mine in this lockdown series. Uh, how is it impacting your life? What effect this lockdown has on you? Is it making it difficult for you to pass time? You have too much time in this lockdown, or life has taken a totally different turn?
First of all, Amitabh, let me just correct you. It's been 4 decades. And
To
it
be
looks,
politically correct, I said more than
looks
3 decades.
very ancient. I started my career in 1979.
Gee, right,
Just passed out my post grad and stayed away into the same college. So it's
right.
been 1979 to this is what 2020. It's more
2020,
than
yes.
4 decades
Yeah,
in the journey, and I think the kind of profession that we are in teaching education does not really require so much of physical activity as is requires a lot of mental activity.
right,
So I'm coming straight from 1979 to 2020 now.
right,
And that is that talking about lockdown.
right.
According to me, as of right now, these days, I'm more busier than I think I ever was when I was physically moving around and going to the school and being there with them. Why? Because now everything has suddenly changed. It's become online,
Right,
and teaching is now online. I'm giving training to the teachers online. I'm having seminars online. I'm having webinars online. I mean, it's like I don't even know when to move from one webinar to the second to the third to the fourth. So busy. I don't know whether I call it busy or I call it free,
right,
but it is there. It's much more busier, but in a different sort of way.
right. And it's becoming difficult to say whether we are busy with business or without business. uh,
This is with business.
Ma'am, it's so nice to hear that your 4 decades of your contribution of the social impact and in the field of education, and I can easily say that you have been making this contribution for generations, because you have seen multiple generations going through your experience and through your blessings in this journey.
Yeah,
Now,
I have
now,
seen.
being a professional in the in the field of education, I could see from your profile that there are various hats you've been wearing. You've been a administrator, you've been a principal, you have been a CEO, managing a group of institution. You've been facilitating as a trainer for CBSE as well. I could see. So how do you keep on switching over these multiple hats that you wear?
It's that is not an easy. That's a very simple thing actually. But what I find is difficult is, see, I tell you, what's very close to my heart even today is my teaching. I began my career as a lecturer of
Right,
biology in Mumbai, which was called Parle College. That's I'm talking about 1979 to almost 1986 or so. And I think that were my best years because probably that was a subject that I was dealing with, and there were these undergrads there and the 12th graders and intermediates and stuff like that, and I was thoroughly enjoying. And maybe we were younger also, just straight out of the college and
right,
into so we had all the information and my colleagues and everybody, and I used to enjoy myself thoroughly there in teaching. And that teaching was something which I'll never forget because even in those days, I used to say a story. And biology story, you might be thinking what exactly is wrong with that. But I started there with the story of RNA. I still remember the
right.
RNA undergoes replication and how
Okay,
it's a difficult subject. So how would I would say is that they put in a board, then they go from nucleus, then they go into the cytoplasm, which is outside the nucleus, and then how they all have a jolly ride. So I just realized that that was my I was cut out for that because I realized that even though I was pretty young at that time, must have been in my middle 20s or so, and the kids were not very old either. So the gap between the children, the students then, and the teacher was hardly around 8 9 years, maybe
okay,
max 10 years. So they were like they like the teacher like the kids. It was all one of those picnics for me. The
okay,
moment I went into administration,
right,
because then I went to Kolkata from my Mumbai years, that is 86, 87. I stepped into, I couldn't get the thing which was close to my heart. That's again getting into a college lecturer. So I got into administration with the Birlas as a headmistress.
right,
That's when my life took a little turn
okay, okay.
because then I started realizing that administration is being jack of all trades but master of none. Earlier, I was master of one trade, but now became I had to be jack of all trades in the sense I had to know this subject, I had to know that subject, I had to know that subject, I had to know
Right.
accounts, I had to know budgeting, I had to know a lot of things which was not my cup of tea. So
Right.
that was a big turning point. And when you are younger, you are a little naive to understanding, my God, am I done the right thing? What's wrong? I mean, I don't know how I'm going to handle things.
Right.
Oh, by the way, when we go on with the conversation, I'll tell you all the interesting episodes I've
I'll
done
sure.
in
And
such
ma'am,
kind of.
what you just now said, I think, brings me to highlight an MKF, the Mohan ka funda here, that I always share. That leadership is not about knowing it all, as you quite rightly said. Leadership is about knowing who can do it the best
Yes.
and getting it done through that person. And I think people who know you, I think they will vouch that you have mastered this art so very beautifully at that time. And now that you're remembering about your administrative years in Calcutta, ma'am, I think that was a time when you met some of the amazing people in life.
I met.
That
And
was
then
me. I'm talking about me, ma'am. We met
I
in
did
Calcutta.
start meeting amazing people, and I'm still meeting them. And one of them is Mr. Amitabh Mohan. And I met him in Kolkata. After the Birlas, I joined the Singhanias,
Right,
Singhania School, which is 1995. I was the founder principal of Lakshmipad Singhania Academy.
right.
And that's where I met this gentleman, a very good looking gentleman, amazingly handsome gentleman. And he was called Mr. Amitabh Mohan. I had not seen him, but then he was a big buzz with a lot of kids around and a lot of girls and boys around. And one of them being La Martiniere for Girls, which is in Kolkata, where
Right.
my daughter happened to study. And one fine day, now I'm, taking the cat out of the bag. So one fine day, my daughter comes pretty excited. She was in the ninth grade going to 10th or 10th going to 11, one of those times. Uh,
Right.
so this is roughly 1999 or maybe, yeah, 1998, 99 roughly.
Around that time, yeah.
So she comes home one day very excited, extremely excited. And that's a time when the career counseling and all was a very new term. It was not like the way it's now.
Right.
It had started at very few schools, one of the best schools. The Martinez is one of the best in the country and almost the world. So she came running excited, says, "Do you know what happened, Mama?" I said, "What happened?" There's this fantastic looking gentleman who came to our class today. And Mama, he was amazingly good looking. I said, okay, proceed for what happened after that. Says he taught us career counseling and he taught us counseling and he gave us ideas of psychology and he made us do small activities and he drew out ourselves. And I can tell you this and that. She gave me all the management jargons and all. And so I kept looking at her for some time. I said, so she said, this is the circle. You told them about circle of confidence. And she told me those jargons at that time. And she said, then I discovered myself, she says. I said, oh my God. And she says he's going to come again tomorrow. And he has given us some work. And we are supposed to do that. And we're supposed to give it back to him. I am leaving everything. He said, I'm going to do this. From the girl who normally was not very impressed with people. I mean, she was floored. So from that time, I was very curious to know who is this Mr. Amitabh Mohan, who has taken the city by the storm. Not one school, but there I heard from others and others and others. Till one day, I actually met him. I'm
And
sure
ma'am,
we'll say how we met, and then I said there was no
you
turning back.
trust me, I'm going to promote this episode the most because of this portion of it. Ma'am, I'm very thankful to your daughter that she connected me to you. You are such an amazing person and a personality.
No,
Yes.
no, they say when anything has to happen and the time has come, it
Right.
comes. It doesn't
Absolutely.
wait for anything.
It,
So
it,
it's
it,
not
it,
a
it is a
connection.
very funny. Ma'am,
And then, yeah, sorry,
now
yeah.
coming to it, before we go into your area of expertise as a professional, I would like to draw upon some benefits for my audience, your experience from life. On two fronts. One is, right now, COVID is about challenge. And challenge is nothing new for us in life. जिंदगी में अलग अलग तरीके से हमारे सामने challenge आते हैं. We get challenges in different forms and shapes. This time it has come in the shape of COVID-19. So I would like, from your vast experience, that how anyone in their personal life should go about facing challenge, be it COVID or otherwise beyond COVID as well.
I think first, professional lives, facing a challenge in professional lives, according to me, is more important than facing in your personal lives, because personal life somehow you can, manage, and there can be other people to support you. But professional life, there'll be nobody to support you. In
Right,
professional life, if you face a challenge, you are alone. And
right,
unless you don't know the management jargon, unless you don't know your own self, unless you don't know how to get on to kind of dealing with stress or challenges, many people kind of fail at that, professionally. How do you keep yourself going on? And one of the most important things, according to me, in professional life, to keep you going on is not, don't take anything seriously. According to me,
right, right.
there's no need to take everything to heart. So, I used to have so many challenges. There were a lot of ups and there were a lot of downs, and there were more downs than there were ups. But I don't think anybody got to know about it because I didn't want to share my downs with anyone. Neither did I want to share my ups with anyone. I would deal with myself. But one of the things I realized is I didn't keep it in my heart. I felt that I am doing a job. This is my job. If I'm sitting on a chair, this chair has a lot of thorns under it, and
Absolutely agree.
I did not sit on the chair thinking it is bed of roses. I knew
Right,
very well that I'm sitting on a chair which has thorns. So why do I
right.
don't have the right to complain now? Oh my God, ouch, it hurts. I didn't need to say that because I know it has thorns.
Right,
And I better place myself properly how I sit on that chair, first with one itch, then the other pinch, and then I can have all the pinches together. So I would know how to handle it because I know they will be pinching. So if but had I taken it to heart, then I think I would have finished my career in way back in 1990, 1987, 88 when I was with the Birlas first time. I would have
right.
finished there because I'll tell you an incident there with the Birlas, and that's the first school I joined. That's
Uh-huh.
Devi Birla Shishu Vihar at that time, 1986, 87. And I was pretty young. I must have been in my early 30s, I think. And there were teachers there who were uh, twice my age, and they were about to retire. There were those
Okay.
kind of teachers. It was a nice
Yeah.
big school, but with the staff, which was pretty good and pretty what do you call old. They were senior.
Right.
So I remember the Birlas, the daughter telling me that this is your school, this is your chair, and there you are. And I said, of course, I need the support of the management. They said we are always there, but then we're putting you on the what should I say, the spool. Is still you either sail or you sink. You know,
Right.
and that was a little scary for me. Then I said, no, no, suppose I am sinking. I'm sure you can help me out, no? By giving me a lifeboat or something. They said, yeah, that we can give you. But as far as possible, don't sink. So I remember those veterans were there. And then I realized that is it age? I was thinking to myself, is it age that I'm going to compete with? Or is it, if they had something else, then they would have been where I am.
Right.
But they're not.
Right.
I thought to myself, no, there's something in me which possibly is making me sit in this chair.
You had that belief in yourself.
That brought my confidence back.
Right.
They were chattering for some time, but that brought my confidence back that if they had something, they would be sitting here, no? Why am I sitting here?
Right.
And Birlas and the Siganyas would not find that just pick up somebody and put them on the chair. No, they've done thorough
Absolutely.
investigation. They've done proper grinding of the person. They've put it, you appointed you. So you better prove yourself, lady. I used to tell
Absolutely.
myself.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I remember I used to have a little resistance there because of the age factor. But then I had this inherent quality, which is from my childhood or whatever you call it. I had this little of humor, which is what I still maintain it till date. And then I used to do one thing is I used to use that humor in dissolving the situation. So
Okay.
the
Okay.
more
So that was
senior
the genesis of this humor theory that you are propagating so many years.
I believe in it even till date and 100%. So I
Right.
used to deal with the senior most staff who would had a lot of egos because they were senior and who कल की लड़की आ रही है और हमको दिखा रही है. That sort of attitude is always there in anyone who's
Right.
younger. So I
Right.
used to, then I would go on saying no Didi, and in Bengal you are Didi or your Dada. So I picked up. I first thing I do in anything when I went to Bengal or now in Hyderabad or Mumbai, of course, I'm born and brought up, is that I pick up the culture very fast. I want to know what's the culture in the people, what
Right.
makes it tick there. And one of the thing I know which makes it tick is the language. You
Right.
have to get into the language of that, to the little bit of culture, appreciate that culture. You should
Right.
never think I'm this and you're that. No, not at all. I always picked up that. So I used to say, Didi, no, I think you are such a nice Didi. I still remember one staff, I'm going to talk about her. May her soul rest in peace. I think she passed away. Her name was Basanti. And
Right.
in Bengal, it's called Bashanti. Okay? It's
Okay.
not Basanti, it's Bashanti Di. Di
Okay.
is short form for Didi. So she was the Bashanti Didi was I think she was a Hindi teacher there, and she was teaching something. And I still remember assembly was just got over in the big ground, and everybody got to the classroom. And the classroom, her classroom was in the ground area, facing
Okay.
that. I'm
Okay.
talking about, that's the first time I realized every city, every state has a certain mindset of people. It has a
Right.
certain culture. Please adapt to that culture. The
Right.
people have told me that there are in Bengal we have a little bit of exaggerations, but handle the exaggerations. And I
Right.
did one thing where I came from Mumbai, where people are very cold and to the point. So
Right.
exaggerations, I wanted to know what is that, and there's a little bit of hysteria also they have, but they're lovely
Right.
people, which I want to know a little later. So I finished the assembly. Everybody went, children in the classes, and Basanti Di also in the class with her kids. It must have been grade 7 or 8. I'm not
Right.
sure. So in a second, Basanti Di jets out of the classroom, and I was not even gone. I was still in the ground. She says,
Right.
ma'am. I said, what happened? She says, there is. She wanted to tell me something. I said, what? She said, बड़ो बड़ो पोका আছে ওখানে. Literally, it means there is this much big poka means an insect.
Right.
This big insect is there, and I'm not joking. The hands were from here to here. So I
Right.
can measure it. I say, Bashan Didi, this much big poka is what? Is an insect. Ato bodo bodo inside the classroom. And she ran out. Not a single child was coming out. And they were laughing, they were roaring down there in the classroom. So
Right.
I said, ma'am, you don't run out. At least the kids are there. The first thing is the kids should run out. Anyway, I said, let us see. She said, come, but I'll go after you, ma'am. Oh, to bodo bodo poka. I went inside. I went inside. The kids, I looked at them. They were laughing, rolling on the chairs and tables. Then they
Right.
were doing like that. I saw the ceiling. You know what was there?
What
Guess
was
what? It was a moth. This black colored moth was on the ceiling.
it?
So I told her Bashanti Di, and I saw there was a big humor element here. I said, Bashanti Di, "Ab to bado nahi. Please reduce the size." She said, no, no. I said, no, no. Auto. We ultimately came to Auto. So this was this small moth,
Right.
and she was scared of, terrified of moth. So that was the first time
Right.
where there is laughter, and everybody came back, and Basanti Di was also fine. What I'm saying is that the first time I realized when people had told me, look, there is a little bit of hysteria and there's a little bit of exaggeration, beware, you have to
Right.
scale it down to size. I
Right.
didn't know what they're talking now. There was a live example of scaling down. Automodo 2. So next time they will tell me anything, I
Right.
would scale it down. I
Well,
would know. I
that's
can understand.
beautiful narration that you shared, ma'am. Very exciting to hear the stories from your life. In fact, what you just now said reminded me. I think you have perfectly demonstrated and lived up to the saying that one of the management guru has said, that we are always promoted to the level of incompetency. And that is where, when you got that new responsibility and the Birla experience that you were talking about, and you were said, "Okay, all right, we are there, but then you have to do it all your own," and that challenge. And the moment you were thrown into that level of incompetence, you created humor as your tool of competence at that point of time. And I know that you have been practicing, you have been getting this to your team wherever you have come, and whosoever I know in your connect, everyone vouches about one thing, that Anjali ma'am has smile always on her face, and you meet her, even in the worst of the moment, she will make you smile. So I think you have really beautifully used this as a tool in your professional and personal sphere.
I can read the chats of a couple of my, old buddies out there, and so nice to see you.
It's it's
Nice to
it's.
see you. Yeah.
I think I could see a lot of people are already there online, who are some of them are mentioning. they connect with you as well. I could
Yes,
see
yes,
Sunita Arora saying that I would like
yes.
to express my
She was.
gratitude to Ma'am Rajdan. I
Hello,
have
so
learned
nice to see you all.
so much from
So nice.
her.
Yeah.
So there are so many people, ma'am, already coming up. Abhishek, Anjana Mishra, Ranjana Roy, Jayant Chakravarti. There's so many of them.
Oh
We
my
have
God. Very nostalgic.
yeah, we have so there are a lot of people, ma'am, and ma'am, I would also like to take your permission at this point of time to encourage the audience if they want to ask any question to us related to what we are talking about, anything else. Please do not hesitate in putting it up in the chat box. We will see as many questions we can take up. We'll once we cover our gamut of areas, we'll come to these questions also. We'll try and cater to them. Ma'am, before we take few questions from the audience and build it up for our interaction, uh, this humor thing that you have talked about, and the professional sphere, how how would you like a mother to use humor as a tool in the as a tool of parenting? And how would you like a teacher to use it as a tool of teaching?
Um, to start with mother first, I think. Mother, and now I can even add up one more word, that's grandmother, because I'm also a grandmother right now.
Right,
So, humor, not at all tool. It's just a very natural process.
right,
I repeat again, if you're brought in very strict circumstances at home, parental, very, very strict authoritative parents over there, the child of the product of such authoritative parents generally tends to break free when they grow up. They always tend to do completely opposite of what their parents have done for them. This is a not normal norm of the society. That if my
right,
parents are this and this, so when I grow up, I'm going to be like this, and I'm not going to be with the kids the way my parents were being. That's a
right,
very subconscious thing which happens in everybody's mind.
right,
I'm a product of not strict parenting at all. My
right,
dad was extremely pally with us, extremely pally. He was like I could sit on his back and I could jump on him and stuff like that. My mom was a strict mom. She was not one of those very pally ones, but she was strict. So between the two, if I had anything to do, if I ever wanted something, I know I have to go to dad. If I if I know there was something serious, then I know it's a mom. So I would play between the two of them.
right,
I learned this that children can play between parents. I learned this because I was playing with the parent. I was a very naughty child. I was a very naughty, mischievous child, but constructively naughty. I was not a
right,
destructively naughty person. I used to love naughtiness, how to go around in the college days, school days, all the time. So I understood what it means to be having a wonderful, fun-loving father and a mother also. Many times she was very humorous also, but so I when I grew up, I decided that okay, I have my daughter. I'm going to be so I had split personality. Basically, I'm a Geminian, and that's adding to that. So I have a split personality in the sense that I would go to when I would at school. I can vouch. Many people will tell me that those who are the Singhania group out here, the teachers, the colleagues, that the way they would see me interacting in the school as a principal, and when I would go home, I'm completely the opposite. I would jump, I would play, I would do whatever sorts to take it with my daughter. There were no boundaries around that I'm this and that and all. If anybody would have seen me in those moments,
right,
they would be surprised out of the wits saying, "Is this the same person? What's wrong with her? What is she doing?" But I would do that because I still have the child in me, still alive,
right,
and I feel that child in me needs to be alive. Why should it, die down? So I would be with the child, with my child, and grow up, and that's how a lot of bonding, used to happen.
takes
And I
place.
think she used to come and chirp, 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 and tell me all the things I used to, this thing, and the same thing happening even with my granddaughter as we to take it forward. So
Right,
humor is not that something you're consciously doing it at home, but you must tell yourself that let it loose. If you have any barriers around yourself, if you think that there is some element of insecurity, possibly you might not be humorous. But then if you leave that allowed, says there's no insecurity. What's the insecurity? Is let you laugh and people laugh. The best thing is if you can laugh at your own self,
right,
that you let it out, that you become loose and free person.
I think that's the beauty of it. If you laugh, people will laugh with yourself. And what you quite rightly emphasize, ma'am, that humor is not a tool. It's an approach.
It's
It's
an
it's
approach.
a, it's part of you, and you need to
Exactly.
keep it more dominant while using it there. And while you mentioned it here, ma'am, that uh, children can play between parents. I was from couldn't I couldn't resist myself to further emphasize on this point right now at this moment. Friends, be consistent in your parenting, and otherwise you are instilling yes, the skill of manipulation in your child. And if you have a good humor and you can humor your child in those moments, you will not have to give in to those ways which will become problematic in your parenting, which ma'am has so beautifully emphasized for us. And ma'am, how about teachers?
How about your professional side?
Yeah,
Oh, you need it by the tons. You need it by the dozens. In the sense that a professional side, remember, it's professional. There's no
right,
relationship. Nobody is your blood relation out there, and you are doing a job and you're getting paid for it. I think remember that fundamentally. That's your bottom line.
right,
Hello, I am a paid professional. I am sitting here or doing my job because they found me the best in this job, and I better deliver my goods. In the process of delivering your goods, in the process of doing that, if you're encountering a lot of setbacks, you're encountering a lot of problems, a criticism, whatever you call it. But tell yourself every time, remind yourself, this is my job. I have
right,
been paid for this. That I
right.
would take the brickbats and I could take the garlands as well. But I would also take the brickbats if I am there. I don't get caught by surprise. Oh, I never knew it was like this. What do you mean? Of course you knew.
You have to face it.
You have to face it. And no sentimental attachments. This is one fundamental I like to tell everybody from the time you are starting your career to the time you end it. Please don't be sentimentally attached to anything in life. You can be emotional attachment, of course, we all have, and degrees and all vary. But the
But
sentimental attachment, no, no.
this, I'm sure, right now, a lot of audience will be having a question in their mind to counter on this statement, and I'm putting it across for you, ma'am. Uh, Not getting sentimentally attached. Uh, how difficult it is for an educationist, because in schools we with children with kids, teachers do get sentimentally attached to a child.
How difficult
How
is the
difficult it is.
so that's what I'm trying to say. Don't get sentimentally attached. You get emotionally attached. Yes,
Yes.
these are two different things. Sentiments, emotions, and
Okay.
even emotions is like I'm bringing back my Basanti D in this because I bring my Basanti D in a lot of my teaching trainings, and most of my Singhanias and other crowds would have noticed that when I said about Basanti D,
Right.
I'm bringing Basanti D back into this. Auto bado bado
Right.
for this small thing is what is an exaggeration of your emotions and sentiments.
All right. So
We
that
scale it to
exaggeration needs to
size,
be cut to size.
and get to the absolute reality of the situation. What is this? Why am I bloating it out of proportions? It's a part of my daily routine. I need to be, somebody will scold me. I will also scold somebody, and the life has to go on. But nobody is doing that to me as a human, as a
Right.
person. People are
Absolutely.
doing that to me as my designation or as part of my job.
Right.
That's where you will split the sentiments from the emotions and whatever else you want to call it, and then you'll find, oh yeah, of course, that's right. It's not telling me this thing as Anjali Razan is telling me on my chair or whatever I'm doing. You'll find it so much better. Then you'll feel, that's, I'm so relaxed now. No problem. So that when you go and sing a song and hum a tune,
Right.
whoever wants to disturb you will get a little more. Why is this person not getting disturbed? So the best way to get out of your sentiments and emotions is if the other person, is kind of feels actually is frustrated because you're not getting frustrated. That's the
Right.
best lesson you can teach that person.
It is.
That's the best lesson. Just hum a tune and you frustrate the other person, and the person will then fall in line. So the ladies were getting, lady, gentlemen,
Absolutely.
whoever is not getting affected.
But I must say, your Basanti Di is a very interesting
Oh,
character in
I
all
never
your
forget.
narrations. Uh,
That's why
so,
I say, may she rest in peace wherever she is, because by now it's so many years back. But oh, she was a brilliant person. I can tell you.
like you have Basanti Di, I have Falane ka beta, Falana's son in a lot of my stories. So,
Okay.
but then, ma'am, what you shared, I think it's allow me to cap it up what you said with another MKF. Friends, when ma'am is talking about humor in a professional sphere, as she beautifully narrated, I would like to cap it up with a thought that you don't need to get serious. Just
Yeah,
be sincere. You just be sincere. Because
absolutely.
it is the sincerity which is required. You don't have to keep your flat face. You don't have to, because I'm elder, so I have to not to do certain things.
Very true.
Get those baggages off your head, and your humor will come to surface in its natural stride. Your wits will help you in every possible moment. So
Very
be sincere. You don't need to be serious when dealing with your professional sphere of work or any sphere of your work. I'll
absolutely.
take some questions. We see that we have a question. We have Mr. Amish, who's been very regular with our programs so far, and we have a question here. Sailing professionally in future, will it need multitasking uh, multitasking or multi-profession, or should focus on core and continue as it is?
Multitasking is the need of the day, and you don't even try to find out the spelling of multitasking.
Right?
It is, you cannot do with just one task these days. Your brain should be multitasking. Your body should be multitasker. I think then you're going to survive very nicely in this world of 21st century. If you
Right.
think you're just going to be single focused and your manpower is going to be doing just one task, I think, sorry, you will need a long way to go and survive.
And I feel that what you quite rightly said, multitasking is the order of the day. We need to differentiate between goal and multitasking. You can have a goal in life, but then in order to reach to that goal, you may have to do a lot of multitasking on the path and the journey, and that is how probably we need to blend the two. So we
Even without the goal, I mean, when you're into the next question, even without the goal, even for your
right.
own self, whether you're an entrepreneur or whether you are businessman or you're just a professional, how
Right.
can you just do single tasking
Single
these days?
task,
I don't
absolutely.
understand. It is impossible.
Well,
When
like you and I are
we
right now doing a lot of multitasking these days. Uh,
everybody is doing.
and
Everybody.
to tell you a very very interesting experience we had when we decided before the formal lockdown announcement was there. Our office has taken the step about a week or 10 days before we have closed the office for work from home in anticipation. And we were we said by everyone, plan your काम वाम की क्या करना है and stay at home. So we were worried कि क्या करना होगा. But then first few days it was like a lull, and after
Yes.
that, when the formal announcement of lockdown has come, we realize we've become very extremely busy. In fact, we have become more global than local.
Yeah, correct.
A lot of because of we started these programs, and we try to use social media to get our messages to people to help them out. Uh, a lot of people who were students like of various institutions who were connected to us 20 years back, 25 years back, they certainly are across the globe, and they are getting to know, connecting back with everyone is in a stress. In fact, now earlier when we were working in the open days, not the lockdown days, we used to schedule by last appointment 5:50 ke baad nahi hai. We have a personal life as well. But
Yes.
yes, now we are giving appointments on the night, one in a night, because that's the daytime for someone who's outside the border. So
Exactly.
a lot of globalization has taken place in this
Oh my
lockdown.
God. Completely. I couldn't agree less.
Right,
It's
right.
just it's a huge paradigm shift in our entire thinking, and I think it's going to stay, and I think it's going to I rather hope and pray that it stays, because it has brought a sense into our lives.
Absolutely.
At least I find a lot of people on my personal side, professional side, and others who would never smile earlier, would not even, all grumpy faces, bogged
Right.
down with life every day. And now they're smiling and they're bright and they're wishing good mornings with all those things and all. They got time in their life. I think COVID times have taught us a brilliant lesson. They
Right.
say in Bhagavad Gita, I don't know much of Gita, but this is Yada Yada Adharma se.
यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारति.
Yeah. So whenever there is, unrighteousness expands in the earth, you will
Right.
find that there is something that's going to happen. Now, Gita says there somebody will come, but then it can be interpreted as there's going to be some revolution because, after all, there's a transition in everything. It cannot just be the same and go on for years and centuries. This is exactly what's happened now.
Absolutely.
Everybody has changed in their philosophy, in their thinking, in their work style, and so many things. I only hope and pray that once
Right.
we get back to normal,
Right.
they should remember these days.
We
They
are
should
the,
grow
yeah.
up and their sons and their daughters and their grandchildren and great grandchildren. They should tell them that this is what used to happen when this has happened. I think don't. I would request the entire audience, don't forget these days. These
and
days
and
will
and
come.
I'm sure after a decade, your Basanti Di will emerge in the lockdown days as well.
This is the day to take self introspection to find out what are your weaknesses. How do I strengthen those weaknesses without stopping your work? Please go on with your work, and also the day for building up new skills. I was technologically terrified. I used to get very two things that terrified in my life earlier is that one was math. I hated maths. I just can't stand maths because the math teacher was pretty bad in
Right.
my school days. And the second was technology. I learned it by trial and error. Learned it. But still,
Right.
I was a little scared. This now this decade, these few days has brought you, thrown you into technology. Now, there is nothing else. You can do nothing but technology. So it's just like
Absolutely.
you fought it and you said, okay, not bad.
Absolutely. And ma'am, you may be able to recall my parent body, my first venture. That is I call it my mother venture for other venture. That is HLS India, Human
Yes,
Learning Systems India, where we have a tagline, operating statement, where we call offering you to yourself. I think
yes,
lockdown has literally done
yes,
that for everyone. It has
yes.
offered you to yourself, and I'm sure when, as you quite rightly said, everyone is changing. Every sphere of life is changing. Dimensions are changing. I'm sure that when the lockdown will be open, we are going to all, each one of us are going to be another version of ourselves, and we are going to have the new you is going to be there. There is going to be a new normal that we are going to get after this lockdown. And yes,
And a
it's going
pretty
to take
good
time
version.
to adapt to it, but I'm
Yeah.
sure it's going to happen.
It's going to be a pretty good version of us, not a bad version, I'm sure. And just coming
Absolutely.
back to your, remember your HLS, the company which so many years back I still
Right.
remember, is so futuristic in its thoughts. If you see, it stands good now. Human learning system.
Systems.
I thought
Absolutely.
I thought it is so amazingly adequate even now and relevant now because we're talking about human learning,
Human learning.
children,
Absolutely.
not of parents, and not of this and not of that. Such a big ambit within these three words. So
Thank you for adding that perspective and emphasizing on that, ma'am. And now this again brings me the question that you responded on multitasking, ma'am. You yourself have been quite a multitasker. Even right now, as I see the admin, I could see GD Goenka, CEO and Director Education, Swollen Public School. There are multi norms which you are working, and there are two different. It's not just multitasking; it's a multi-location as well, which you are catering at the moment, and also the training travels that you have or whatever work you're doing. So, which part of your work, the administrator, the trainer, or which part of the work you find most engrossing and most challenging, and why?
what is very close to my heart, trust me, is the training. I,
Okay,
I love training. I love because somehow I know the psyche of the person now. I know very well by looking at the person what's going on in their minds, what kind of audience this is. One look within the first
right,
10 seconds or so. I dwell on that psyche.
Okay.
And then I tell myself that if I'm good at it, come on, lady, put on all your best hats and give it a good shot. So when I'm training not only them, but I used to be a CBSE trainer and I trained huge number of people. And I found at every training I used to enjoy myself. I used to enjoy.
Right.
When I
Right.
started discovering I'm enjoying, and then even people were enjoying. We laugh and we used to laugh it out and all, and yet the matter was gone across. But what do you call your feedback? What is your indication that people are enjoying or they will
Right.
is not that lip yes 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 ma'am you were very good and sir you were very good. The 2 minute
Right.
thing happens
Right.
everywhere. But I have people even now after 30 years, after 20 years, reminding themselves that ma'am that day when you did that was so nice. It's just the way I remember you when you came in and did the training.
Right.
That memory which lingers on in people mind is the best gift that you can get, best reward you can get, and best feedback you can get, rather than yes 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 you're very nice, and that very nice
Right.
after 5 days. I
And
find is that is the with the conviction I can say that they thoroughly enjoyed it. So because they thoroughly enjoyed it, it's still lingering on.
lingering. And ma'am, I think as you quite rightly said, as a trainer, you have you are the showman. You need to know the sub. You have to have a mastery over your subject. Your
Absolutely.
own esteem is at stake. All possible challenge in those
Oh,
few minutes. So
oh,
it is really very exciting, I think. And ma'am, let me tell you an honest confession. अगर मैं साइकोलॉजी के फील्ड में किसी भी कॉम्पिटिटर से थ्रेटेंड फील करता हूँ so people of your caliber and experience, the experienced psychologists, not the trained ones, because you people have such a gamut of experience, like you quite rightly said. I remember the way you used to connect with people, the way you used to get the work done. You would call a spade and still have a positive impact on people's psyche. I think that has been an amazing blend that people have experienced from you. Ma'am, we have another question from our audience. I could recognize this. Another name is very regular in our shows and is very active as well. Is Mr. Akhilesh Singh? The question is how to associate with parents professionally in the times of virtual cases. And do you think virtual classes? And do you think virtual classes could be an alternate for classroom uh, classes, given the possibility that lockdown seems to persist for some more time?
basically, I think it bogs down to virtual classroom whether they are going to stay or not.
Right,
Yes, they are going to stay. Let me tell you, even if the schools open and everything becomes normal, which may be in the month of July or so, that's
right,
optimistically speaking. You know what's going to happen in the classrooms? Number one is that I remember when we used to, when even now we're going on with the teachers, come on, use your digital board. There is a lot of educational lessons, combine it
right,
with lesson and then present it to the children. I say it with as if I'm by hearting all that, how much everybody is there and how much there would be a resistance. Because the
right,
teacher, typically speaking, barring two people out of 30, the
right,
genuineness is only in those two people who would actually do that. Digital board lessons, together with your combinations, together with
right,
extracting information, together with making motivating, is an art. But not many
right.
people have it. It's not taught in B.Eds and all. Now,
Absolutely.
what's going to happen now is that so they were others were passive. The moment we would inspect, then they would do it. The moment you don't inspect, they would do just their own way. Now, what's going to happen is now by force they
Right,
are made to use online by force. Every teacher is made to go use technology by force.
right,
God has given that opportunity, and by force they're made to go do online with technology as well as their selves, as well as interact, as well as create questions, as well as they are made to do that by force. And now you cannot even hide. When I'm
absolutely.
training up people, everybody's on the screen. I'm telling each one of them, come now your turn, now your turn. That's we are training them, and they're going and in turn putting it in the classroom. So when they're going to go back, let me tell
Right,
you, it is going to be a much, much more enriching environment. If that's why I want to tell the people that don't forget these things, you'll learn something nice. They're going to use this now in the classroom. Digital boards are everywhere now, but how to use a digital board was such a big problem earlier because people used to use the digital boards like a broadcasting board.
right,
You might just have a lesson and you might broadcast it and all of us keep on looking at it, even the teacher
absolutely.
look at it, and then
Right,
that called teaching on multimedia is that's not the way. You have to have interaction there and then. Now that's going to happen because now that is taken over. There's no two ways. Now how do you involve parents? How do you take that part?
Right.
Just that there are talks going on now. How true it is, but 99% may be true. Is that the parents have started realizing the importance of teachers?
I'm sure it is happening, ma'am.
Realize what
In,
it
in
hold.
one of my interactions in a lighter vein, I told someone that if ever children wanted to come to your class, it is now.
To handle these bunch of brats. Sorry,
Right.
I love the word, but in the classroom, okay,
Yeah.
and command them and take care of them and see.
Right.
So many rules had now come into our existence. So many rules. You can't touch a child. You can't look at like this at the child. You might have you might cannot harm them. You cannot even use a rod. Forget all those things had been happened, right? And you
Right.
can parent can sue you if you did this and all. So the teacher was so handicapped that you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do that, yet you have to teach to this.
Right.
Now, I'm sure the parents are realizing that
I'm sure they will be realizing it.
the rod and spile the child is an old dictum. And how do you spare the rod and yet you don't spare the child and yet you make them learn? They must
Right.
be saying hats off to you teachers. So I think
Absolutely. And they are really, in every episode, I'm addressing and emphasizing teachers are the latest entry into the COVID warrior team.
yes, absolutely. 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 So I think parents say, oh, but you don't even have to tell anything. They've learned it. Everybody has learned a lesson.
Absolutely, and ma'am, I think what you pointed out is very important. It is now forced, and as we have since our childhood been hearing that necessity is mother of all inventions. Technology was there, but we were not very using it in an appropriate way. But the way I think it's a training phase that the whole society is going through to get more digital and get comfortable with the virtual world and making an effective use of the same. And I think the allow me to use a generalized statement. People may have reservations on my statement which I'm making. That there was a time when e-commerce did not pick up in India that quickly because we were apprehensive. Until unless we see things, we don't buy things, and that
Yeah.
is why it was resistant. It was taken in, and because somewhere we were not that conversant with the online technologies, and so we were dependent on someone else. I think we are going to be digitally literate after this lockdown. I
Very,
think India is going to be, or the whole world is going to be stepping up on digital literacy. Uh, After this lockdown, that is going to be the biggest change that is going to come in our society. And it is a way to stay on. And of course, there will be mixed match. As we said, there will be new version of everything. There will be new version of our lifestyle in educational scenario as well. Ma'am, we, there are a lot of acknowledgements are there. I'm sure you'll be able to get to read them post our session. If I read them all, probably we'll need another hour for those things to come up. All good things have to come to an end. We have just few more minutes of a committed time for the show. I would like at the end, what is the message that you would like to get across to people?
um message. There's nothing complicated about that. My simple message is please don't take life very seriously.
Okay.
Life is one big joke, and you come into that middle of that joke. Enjoy life to the hilt till you are there. The day you're
Right.
down, tell somebody else to fill you up with the some sort of get it on. And it is not worth brooding on
Absolutely.
anything. It's not worth
Absolutely.
being scared of anything. Not that you go in front of a lion and say, I'm not getting scared, but it's not worth getting don't be empty from inside. I would rather request you all, please fill up your side inside. You know,
Right.
inside filling up is, what I mean. Don't be insecure. Your
Yeah. Absolutely.
insecurities only come when you're not full inside. When
Right.
you're full inside, you're never insecure. So
Right.
fill up your inside with all the extra virtues that you can. Be happy,
Be
and
happy.
there's a very simple saying, no? Don't worry, be
Be
happy.
happy.
I thought that's the best thing in life. Just go on and enjoy the life as it comes. Take each day at a time. No need of thinking of 10 years or 10 days from now.
And friends, as beautifully said by ma'am, and I think we have always been talking about laughter is the best medicine. And even if you go by in the COVID times, in order to strengthen your lungs,
Yeah,
laughter
yes.
is one of the best exercise that you and I can have. So whether it is natural laughter or artificially stimulated, laughter is a laughter created in your life. And don't worry, be happy. Ma'am, we are extremely thankful for your presence amidst us. And to my audience, I would like to say that it's been really enriching listening to Anjali ma'am and be having her. And such a profound experience sharing she's done with us. And in this chain, I would like to invite you be there in our audience, ma'am, in our next show. We are going to have someone amazing from Gurugram. We are going to have Charumani ji from Gurugram, principal of DAV Gurugram. And she, besides being a head of an institution, principal, and vast experience, she also has done a lot of work on online curriculum and online education. So we are going to talk about curriculum to classroom in our next episode. So I would like hear from the studios of the School Times from Ed Talk. Thank you so much for being part of our show, ma'am. And we look forward to having you one more time as the journey progresses. So thank you so much for being part of our show.
Thank you so much. But just one little thank I'd like to give to all the people who sent messages. Thank you, Ranjana. Thank you, Sunita. Thank you, Jayanta. Thank you, Avinash, Gyan, Sonal, Amar, Shakespeare, Isar, whatever that means. Preeti Kumar, ma'am. Thank you so much. Preeti Kumar is my boss, by the way, at Solan Public School. And what
Okay.
so thank you so much, Anita Mishra, for being here. And I do hope you do you enjoyed this, the presentation as much as I enjoyed. Thank you so much, and God bless.
Just a lesson that is learned from you, what you did just now, ma'am. Friends, I am sure you must have noticed Anjali ji never misses to acknowledge people. And she did that right now as well. Thank you so much for being part of the show. Friends, हम फिर मिलेंगे आपसे with another educational influencer. Keep watching Ed Talks with Amitabh. Log into the School Times. God bless. Take care.
Thank you. God bless.